Hello everybody, this is Damien Reviews Firewood. Firewood was a game that was released in August of 2017 and it was developed and published by Firewood Games. Firewood is the only game they've ever made, so, that's all I can say about that. The genre of the game, I would call it a survival horror mixed in with mystery. And I'll get into why in a little later in the review. But it's survival horror, mystery, investigation type game. A brief synopsis. A man has lost his wife and he moves out to a cabin in the woods. But his past, still haunts him. And it seems that the world the world of Firewood is set in a quasi-dystopian world where... I'm going to say now, dog-faced people walk the earth with regular people, though even regular people don't seem to have faces at all, though that could be a psychological kind of horror aspect to the game. It is all about horror, so it could be that a memory thing where you don't actually remember faces, which, if that's what it is, it's pretty cool. So I'll get into talking about the gameplay. The gameplay is a 2D side-scroller. You control the man. I can't recall if he has a name. I think it could be Lee, but I can't recall if he actually has a name. But you control the man and you play him as an old man. Though the game goes back in time after you trigger some events, and you play the man when he's young and his wife is still alive. Because as I said earlier, his wife passed away. So the gameplay. There's nothing much to talk about. It's a lot of walking around. Though there is some investigation work and puzzles in the same vein as Resident Evil and Silent Hill. The graphics are pretty good, and they add to the game's atmosphere. The art style is very nice, and one thing I really liked is that the game goes back black and white when you go back in time, which to me is really, really cool. I really like that they added that in. I found the soundtrack to be exceptional for this game. It is ominous, creepy, very unsettling at some parts, and quite emotional actually at some other parts. Very good soundtrack. I'd actually just listen to it in my spare time. If I'm writing something else or whatever, I'd definitely listen to it. And I believe it really fit in with this game. So yeah, thumbs up for the soundtrack. So yeah, I'll just get into the roundup. The game was very fun. At some points it made me jump out my skin in terror, and I'm not being, not kidding here. It actually did make me jump a lot. It had a very dull and hopeless atmosphere, and I'm using dull in a good sense. Yeah, there was nothing really like hopeful or hey, this is all happy. It's very hopeless, and I felt that through the whole game. It's a very kind of dour, sad atmosphere to it, and it really fitted in with it. It lets you know that something bad has happened, and no matter what, you can't change it. Even though it's a sort of weird story, it's heavy enough, and there's a bit of emotion thrown in, a lot more than I expected to find. So you know what, a bravo to Firewood Games. For challenging the expectations of what I thought it was going to be. So I'll just do the scoring and then we'll wrap up the review. So graphics, I'm going to give a 1. I love the style of the animation, and they put effort into the graphics and into the art, so I have to give them a full 1 for that. Sound at 1. I mentioned earlier, soundtrack superb, creepy, unsettling. And most of all, and this is the most important thing that, if you're a game developer, you really need to think about, it fits with the game. So, I'll give it a full 1 for that. Worth, I'll give it a 0.5. The game is $3.99 on Steam, and I believe it's just worth it. It's not a long game. You could be finished in an hour, maybe an hour and a half, which is not long enough at all, but it is a good game and it has a good story. But for $3.99, it's a little bit steep for maybe like an hour and a half. I usually give games that like are 79 cents or whatever the full 1, but for $3.99 it's a little bit steep, a little bit. But like I said, it's just worth it. It is really enjoyable. Story, I will give the game a 1. The story was good. It has emotion. It had investigation and mystery, though sometimes it was a little bit too what the hell is going on. And even now I'm still kind of confused about what was the story of the game. I got most of it, but there's still bits in my head that I'm kind of thinking, like, what is this about? Like, or why did that happen? Or you know what I mean. There's still bits that I just didn't kind of figure out or work out, and that could be entirely my thing. Or maybe I just didn't get it, but yeah, I'm still a little bit confused. So I'll give it a 1. It was a good story, but a little bit too out there maybe. The gameplay I will give a 3. Middle of the road. It's fine. I'll go back to what I mentioned at the start. I called it a survival horror, though there is no survival aspect, because as far as I know, I don't think you can actually die in the game. Though I could be wrong, but I don't think you'd actually die in it. The reason I called it a survival horror, though, was as I said, it reminded me a lot of Resi and Silent Hill. So it's along the same veins that maybe it's just a mystery game with a little bit of psychological horror thrown in. I'll actually maybe turn it into I won't turn it into anything, but I'll change maybe survival horror to psychological horror, because I think it's more of that. But it did remind me a lot of Resi, so especially Resi 1. So the gameplay is fine. I had fun, but it's, yeah, like I said, it's not long at all. Maybe an hour and a half, you're gonna be done with it, and I don't think there's any replayability. You pretty much, what you do the first time is pretty much what you're gonna do all the time. So yeah, so that gives Firewood the grand total of 6.5 out of 10. That is my review of Firewood, and as always, thanks for watching.